Lucy Wamaitha, a 32-year-old woman, was an employee at a non-governmental organization, NGO, based in the heart of Kiandutu slums, Kiambu County. This organization, known as Rehema Rescue CBO, is dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating less privileged children, an institution built on the pillars of mercy, or so it seemed. On January 16, 2025, Lucy and her supervisor, Stanley Njuguna, embarked on a routine mission to Meru, escorting a young pupil to school under the NGO's care. But on January 17th, the day she was meant to return, Lucy vanished without a trace. Days later, a series of gruesome discoveries shocked the nation. Her dismembered remains were found scattered across different locations. A brutal, merciless execution. This was no random act of violence. It wasn't a robbery gone wrong. It wasn't an accident. This was an organized, premeditated elimination. But the question is, why? Friends, we all know that no one simply wakes up one morning and decides to take another person's life unless there is something at stake. Even assassins kill for a reason, for money, for power, for silence. So, we ask, was Lucy an obstacle to someone's interests? Was she a threat? The answer is yes. But to who? And why did they want her gone? To understand this, let me paint a familiar picture. In every organization, there's always that one person, sharp, hard-working, straightforward, the kind of person who wins the trust of the management, yet becomes hated by colleagues. The kind of person who refuses to turn a blind eye to corruption, who refuses to play along with dishonest dealings. These individuals are often isolated, branded as snitches, traitors, or obstacles, and sometimes their fate is far worse than mere workplace hostility. And this, dear viewers, is exactly who Lucy Wamaitha was. Lucy was a principled woman. She stood for the truth. She refused to entertain dishonesty. And that very virtue, the very thing that made her exceptional, became the reason for her death. But what exactly did she uncover? And why did it cost her life? To find answers, we first needed to confirm which NGO Lucy worked for. It wasn't easy. Many roadblocks, many unanswered questions, but we found it. Rehema Rescue CBO. A name that once symbolized mercy, now entangled in dark secrets. Founded in 2006 by Jeff and Carla, American nationals, Rehema Rescue CBO was born out of goodwill when they found an abandoned child in the rain. They took the child in, sparking an idea to create a safe haven for less privileged children. That's how Rehema was born, named after the Swahili word for mercy. Over the years, Rehema expanded. It grew beyond Kiandutu, spreading its branches across different parts of Kenya. But at the heart of this network, Kiandutu remained the mother branch, the nerve center of all financial operations. And here is where things get even darker. All donations, all funds, all resources meant for the NGO's operations across Kenya were controlled from Kiandutu. Money from local donors, international organizations, even million-dollar contributions from global philanthropists, all passed through the hands of Kiandutu's management. And this, dear viewers, is the genesis of Lucy Wamaitha's murder. What did she uncover? Lucy joined the organization in 2023 as both the secretary and accounting officer, a position that on the surface seemed administrative, but in reality held the keys to the financial heartbeat of the NGO. As secretary, she managed records, correspondence, and internal operations. But it was her second role that would put her in grave danger. As the accounting officer, Lucy oversaw the NGO's finances, ensuring that donor funds were used as intended. You see, in any organization where money flows freely, transparency is both a duty and a death sentence. Her role required her to report financial activities to the management, a responsibility that earned her a dangerous label among her colleagues. a snitch. But let me ask you, was she really a snitch for simply doing her job? Was she at fault for ensuring that funds meant for helpless children were not stolen? You, dear viewers, be the judge. One anonymous source, whose identity we have protected for their safety, led us to a crucial revelation. But for those who may doubt, this information is also available on TV47 for independent verification. On July 25, 2024, Lucy stumbled upon something that shook her to the core: a damning financial discrepancy. She discovered that her supervisors had been orchestrating a grand theft of donor funds. And this was not just petty corruption. On July 7, 2024, billionaire philanthropist Mackenzie Scott had donated $500,000, approximately 63.7 million Kenya shillings, to Rahima Rescue CBO. Of this amount, 70%, 44.59 million Kenya shillings, was supposed to go to the Consolidated Fund for Rescuing and Rehabilitating Children. 30%, 19.11 million Kenya shillings, was allocated to the expenses kit for administrative and operational costs. Yet, by July 25th, when Lucy prepared the monthly financial report, only 50% of the total amount had been accounted for. A shocking 12.74 million Kenya shillings was missing. Lucy, determined to follow due process, questioned her supervisors. Their response? Dismissive, evasive, and defensive.